connected. It's there. Grand rising. Happy Sunday. You can see the sun shining on me. Shine. Reflection out.
I hear that song, Shine on Me. It's funny. I think I even text you Grand Rising Sunshine this morning. I don't always call you Sunshine, so that was funny. That it's in our space this morning.
Yeah, literally. And it's crazy because the sun usually comes in that way and it's over there. So I'm like, that's north, that's south. Yeah, I need
Does
to
it have to
sit
do with
down
the
with
time
that.
of year?
Yeah. And the time fell back, right?
Yes, it was like a dream come true this morning, Christina. I woke up and looked at my phone and it was like 7 o'clock. And I was like, yay, I have so much more time to sleep because sleep has been my happy place lately because whoa. And I was like, I looked at my phone again and it was like 7:30. And I was like, felt like I slept so long in that space. And I was like, I love that I just keep waking up and it's perfect. It's just so much time. I loved the extra hour of sleep. I was so grateful.
Good. That's funny. I woke up an hour earlier. I was like ready to go. My body, the space, everything was ready to go.
Heck yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So, shall we just shall we do like a brief like what happened? Because it's been 2 weeks. We're supposed to kind of go live at the bridge, and then there's just so much excitement. Should we talk about that a little before we go into other stuff?
Yeah,
So
heck
we'll
yeah.
flow. So go ahead.
Yeah.
What did you think of the bridge and all of that? What is your
Dude.
takeaway?
It was so cool. I had so much fun. First of all, of course, anytime hanging out with you live in the flesh is amaze balls. And it was really cool to hang out with you and Jonathan. And I was thinking about our epic freaking outfits.
I
And
know. We freaking rocked it. We
yes.
okay, I'm
And
just
I
saying.
was thinking if he would have been with us when the contest went off, we would have went up there because I feel like his energy, like he is such a great job of uh putting us where we need to be or whatever. Like, I don't know. I was reflecting on that different
I
ways.
concur.
Um yeah, I was like, man, if he would have been there, like we would have went up there and we would have won. And I just saw that, and that was kind of cool. Thinking even about the Airbnb and all of that afterwards. So that was kind of cool. Hanging out with him again because I don't really get to talk to him that often or whatever, and it's been a while since I was with y'all in Minnesota, and so it was cool to be all together again, and that was fun. And then getting to be so close and personal and hug people and touch people that you usually only get to see on the YouTube or, whatever. That was kind of cool. The breathwork class, the workshops were freaking amazing. It was neat. I loved it.
Yeah, how everything just lined up. Like that breath work, we were talking about
Yeah.
another breath work we did, and then it ended up being the breath work. So it felt like it kind of helped set you up, maybe rather than like, wait, what are we doing?
Yeah. So when my dinosaur hands were happening, I wasn't freaking out because literally Jonathan told me the story about his dinosaur hands like on the way.
I kid you not. Cause I had a really profound experience, and when Dr. Lee said we're gonna do this for 45 minutes, I was like, oh, I kind of was like, can I go that long? Can I breathe that long? But when he's like, it doesn't need to be like, it doesn't need to be panicky. It's a and I was like, oh, I could do that. I liked that it wasn't forceful. But
Yeah.
at the end of it, because I had a profound experience at the end of it, I'm walking out, and Candor was out because it was the hotel conference room, so it was one of the breakout rooms. I come out and Candra's at the table. We look at each other and I'm like floating. And I was like, I don't know where I'm going. I'm trying to go to the bathroom. But I was like, ended up at these double doors. I was like, I don't know. I was like, whoa, we just like knew. Just looking at each other like, whoa, what the heck?
Yeah.
And made my way to the restroom, came out. I was like, what the heck? Like, it was really profound. And just his Dr. Lee's story behind how he when he had to break through because the mental, he's a psychiatrist, so he struggled with, he had a lot of patients that had schizophrenia and bipolar and all these mental disorders, and he was just like, I'm not those things, right? So he had to look at all that. Where is source in all of this? And I'm thankful he handled that because I've done enough of that in my own sphere, in my own frame. Like, I'm just grateful he took that role because I don't know if I could handle. And I think I did, though. Looking back, I'm like, I did go through that. I just went through more of a feminine process than how he did it with the breath work. I mean, he said he would walk down LA, Korean town or Chinatown, whatever one of those Asian towns, and he'd be like, I am source, like trying to break through, just like shift his paradigm, just do it all in one swoop. Me, I took like a color block. Let me look at that. Okay, let me switch that and pick that there. Let me take the yellow and let me, this way. No, let's go this way. And then I did it little by little. So he's like, no, I'm going to pick the whole thing up and just switch it this way and put it down. Like, that seems to be the male way, right? Masculine. Anyway, so that was super profound. Of course, we got to see Colin Russell, -J Colin Gold. We got to see him talk on a topic that he normally doesn't. The way I've seen his different talks and the way he was able to come in to meet the language of the people there.
Yeah.
That a lot of us have comprehension that we're not from here, in the sense of when our bodies are here, we're born here, but our consciousness and our spirit man, or the unseen realm, it's not just this place. So he was able to really come in that way and bring illumination and dot connect to like, and connect the grammar and why the platform or the venue of contracting to control where you want to go in your energies and nobody be blocking you. Yeah. So I'm realizing this last week is taking off from that weekend of meeting these beings that want to help planet Earth and people and move into sovereignty on an energetic level and on a physical level. So to really see that come together, and meet both, I guess you could say, like, both energies. And I did listen to a couple of follow-up YouTube of Team Light, and they were talking about how the divine feminine was more present. And it's funny they say that because I felt like it was a little bit of like high school, and like these characters that I was meeting it was like the football team. Like I'm like these big muscly guys, and they actually work out. Jonathan, he's very physical. Him included. It's like, it's not these spiritual gurus. It's not these men hidden on the mountain, skinny and just like eating raw vegetables. These are men. These are boys and these guys are tapping into spirituality. So I just was like, I feel like I'm watching the football team here. But when you meet each one individually, you see that essence of more of that feminine come out.
Yeah.
So it wasn't, and I grew up in church, so a lot of the men were like grandfather energy, just very loving. And then these guys are like, you know, they'll they'll pick up a game of football or basketball in a hot second, and it was just a
Yeah.
different energy.
Oh, right on. Aurora made homemade bubbles. She was showing me. Sorry.
Oh, awesome! No
Yeah.
worries.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was thinking as you were talking about the games, all I could think about was the beanbag game at the end and all the effort that went into it. I didn't even get to play. And how apt, you explained it so well with the two different energies and even how it was called the bridge. My favorite part of the whole thing, of course, was the dance party, because I'm all about that life. And the just because it was there, everybody came and got to be as their inner child, and just watching people just let loose and just be was so, I love it. It was so fun. And it was like you didn't know who was who, because no one was behind the booth, no one was selling anything at that moment, no one was up on stage, no one was in the chairs, so it was just like everybody was on the same dance floor, oh, that's my fun.
Celebration. No,
Yeah.
no, but we're just gonna watch the energies move and saw some interesting energies for sure.
Oh yeah. And it's yeah, it's fun. All of it. Okay, so we were going to talk about the Bridge Network. Why do I keep calling it the network? Because we did do a lot of networking. That
Yeah,
that happened as
that's
well.
it
So,
is. Yes, it is.
okay, fast forward to, we were going to talk about the YouTube video that keeps
Yeah,
coming up on yours. And
yeah. So, it I lately I haven't been on YouTube, but I'll kind of check in because sometimes I need to take a break from the deep places I go. So I love watching the bird videos or dog videos or hide and seek. The dogs know how to play hide and seek. Anyways, there was a video that came in of this Asian guy who started breaking open, why secret societies form. And so he goes into a lot of the history and how things, he's very logical, structured. And I like that for me personally, because as one of my flavors, I love the poetry and the visuals and the feminine language, all of it. But I really like the logic and structure because that's what we're having to come back to and clean it up. There's a lot of misusing that uh, construct. There's a lot of deflection or no flexion to move out of that space, because so this guy is teaching about the history of why secret societies, why we've moved from the worker paying attention to the workers to now moving to consumerism. So there's something at play as a society, or as somebody's playing puppet master. So he's talking about the relationships, society, what's going on as a collective. And one of the videos that came in was why the Bible was rewritten to cover King James's crime. And I was like, oh, because I'm in the quantum grammar venue, so I've learned that the power of our words and the arrangement of those words can create a world, can create your perception, can create how you see things. And when that is being manipulated, and you don't even know that it's in the language itself, and everybody's arguing, everybody's miscommunicating because we don't realize the language itself has been compromised. So he talks about how King James, he's showing the history of it, and I really didn't need to listen to a whole lot of it. I'm going to go back and listen because we're in the middle of moving into our dome home. We're in the basement part of it, so we're in the middle of all of that, and so I got busy, but it was in the background still sorting, and I was like, it's in my field, so it's like the parts of me that I could let work for me was working for me, and I get to listen. I'm like, ooh, that's really good. And so with the language being compromised, it really pointed to the fact that it's all about control by these bankers or these puppet masters or the one behind the scene that the Keylontics calls it the interior government, the part that we don't see. Those that call the shots are basically, they know that this is taking place, but because I feel when Colin Russell J. Colin Gold got the flag in 1999, not only did he set terms to contracting in the world of contracts, it also telegraphed through the fields, plasma field, the etheric, the substance by which we are able to function, but that we're even here as a person in this body and as a consciousness. All that technology, it flipped everything back to the correctness of, hey, but that's where we as sovereigns have to rise up and make that claim, set the tone, set the term. What do I want? We have to show up. And so I was connecting all of that to this video, seeing the manipulation, because if somebody who is not Christic, that Christ consciousness, that crystalline nature of correctness, being aligned, having good volition, wanting to help our fellow mankind, wanting to be of service, be balanced, of that nature. Well, King James, according to, if you read the Bible, is it not schizophrenic? Is it not bipolar? Is it not, all these disorders that we're witnessing in our world right now? The chaos, the flipping, the Jedi mind tricks that are taking place when we meet certain individuals or we have certain conversations. It's like it shows itself because it's trying to hide deep in the crevices of our mind and our psyche or our bodies or whatever that technology, that anatomy of the world we live in. Are we being honest with ourselves? And so when a character like King James is, like I said, I haven't finished the video, but I could see the conscious stream. Like I was explaining to Kendra, because we were like, what do we want to talk about today? And I'm like, well, this is where I'm at. And it's like, all right, let's go there. And Inside Out too, the characters that go to help Riley, the main character, because she anxiety took over. And so everything had to come to the light, right? Not just all the good memories that Joy wanted to contain. No, we're just going to hold on and we're just going to let's just throw that in the back of the mind. So they had to travel to the back of the mind. Well, on their way, there's this conscious stream. You could see what Riley was thinking. So there was like pizza, donuts, cupcakes, hockey, all those little things going by. That's what opens up for me when I listen to, I could see the vibration of what this guy is saying. And I was seeing it through the lens of my journey of grammar, what words we arrange to create our world. If I say, I am source, what are we saying? Wait a minute. What are we talking about? What do you mean? You hear people say, you can't claim you're God. And, like they look at it through the lens of being in charge. Or could I be saying I am, which is the language of seeing beyond these physical eyes? I'm seeing with the space, the screen of our mind. I'm seeing a higher dimensional function, law, source. We don't say resource because RE to the word is no source. So we talk about let's gather our resources. You feel, okay, I'm going to go grab my wood. We need resources for our wood burning stove. So we need the little starters, we need pine cones, and we need the log. Those are my resources. But what are we saying? We're negating ourselves. So I have my sources, right? So energy is the source, light is the source, sound is a source. I kid you not. Side note, we want to put grass out here in the front of our dome right here. We both agreed to that. Like, yeah, we want to have a flat grassy area. I kid you not. After it rained, there's grass growing. Our word is seed. And I was like, okay, I really want to push this. Okay, this is what I want. I want a Native American drum because my dad is a drummer. And if our DNA, if we hold all the codes in my DNA, I just want to start playing. I just want to see where it takes me, right? Because it's within me. So I am source. Maybe I'm talking about the DNA template that is the codes, the data, the information, the memory bank that I carry is in my body, in my the structure of the beingness that I am. Why is it that there are certain memories that come up and we're like, wait, where is this coming from? But it feels familiar. Wait, I know that. Or somebody says something and you're like, yes, I know that. I know what you're talking about. That's the name of the game. That is that DNA template. And what does mainstream science say? 90% of our DNA is junk.
Something
Why?
like that.
Something, I don't know, 98, I hear different numbers, whatever that large number they say our DNA is junk. Or it could be genetic codes that have been turned off.
Yeah.
So when they say we've been dumbed down, it's because they've mutated. They've turned off our gene, hey, I want to fly again. Okay, let's turn that on. Okay, I want to manifest this. Let's turn that on. Okay, I want to teleport over here. Let's turn that on. All these movies that we watch, we're really watching ourselves. That is our potential, but they try to tell us the truth by twisting it. Oh, it's just a movie. It's just make-believe. It's fantasy.
Yeah, it's no different than Aurora and I were watching Harry Potter last night, and I was like, dude, even talking to her about her own school, I'm like, oh, you're learning spell casting? And she's like, what? And I was like, yeah, right here, you're learning how to move the thought into the future or the past based on this. So you're learning spell casting. You're learning how to put things, forward, backwards placement in time based on the verb here. And she was like, and I was like, yeah, that's why it's called language arts. Like they teach you language arts, like how it's an art. Where else do you hear that? Dark arts, maybe in Hogwarts, like.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
They
And
teach linearly, logically, structurally, but how do you know it's the correct structure according to your anatomy? And what dimension are we talking about? So yeah, yeah. So this video of the King James, I saw it for what it was. I was like, okay, it's coming out. It has to come. These dark parts, these shadowy parts, or parts that are not told to us. That, okay, I want to be careful because I comprehend the nervous system and how our nervous system functions, and not wanting to violate or make anybody feel not safe in their body when being told that, oh, the Bible that you adhere to is false and it's fiction and blah blah blah. I don't ever want to come that way. However, if there is, how do you, let me ask you this, how do you see the Bible now that you've learned that it's another source, but you also learn that it's about the words and the arrangement of the words, and the heart of it, the spirit is still there. However, it got directed this way. So how do you now see it, since it has, yes, there are prophecies, there are things that work within that. Would you say, yeah, I want to hear what you think on that.
So when I think of the Bible, I think I've always had a unique relationship with it because I have always been logically, linearly, earthly, very smart, right? I could read something, literally my way of learning it would be to teach it, and it's locked in me forever. That's just how I've always been. But when it came to the Bible, I really struggled. And I was like, wait a minute. And I prayed so many times for it to open up to me. So when I read it, a whole different things happen for me than with anybody else. And I'm like, it's clear as day right here. I read Colossians and totally got downloads on it all being quantum entanglement, quantum world, all of it. Like that's where that opened up for me. When I read it now and I'm like, I don't know how that was there, but it was there. Do you know what I'm saying? So like it is still one of the most magical books to me. It does not, it's the most manipulated book. It is the most argued over. It is so, but I've watched the magic and power of it. Some of the most powerful magic you can do are psalm magic. You know what I'm saying? Like I've watched it, I've witnessed it, I like experienced it. So when you break open the words, like they mean so much. You can look at it through numbers. It all tells the same story through numbers. So it's learning to see more than what's written is how that book opened to me.
So would you say it's a high level of dark arts book? But depending on how you look at dark.
Oh,
I don't
heck
mean
yeah.
dark as in
Proverbs.
bad.
No, babe. Yeah, no. Proverbs says that right in the very beginning. Like, it is for this level, it is this. For this level, it is this. But let me tell you about this level. If you are of the dark, like it is the hidden truth and wisdom. Like there's so much in it. So abso-freaking-lutely.
Yeah. Yep. Okay. Yep. That I heard that. I was like, oh my gosh, this is the ultimate dark arts. Yes, it has impacted the world. Sorry, I'm just adding more wood to the fire.
Right on. It's funny because I heard ice cubes and I was like you were putting ice cubes in a drink or something is what it sounded like to me. And it's completely the opposite.
Yeah, so it's funny because I feel like it pokes at, when you take something authentic and direct it this way, direct it that way, direct it this way, according to where society is going, and change the narrative. It's a chameleon, right?
Oh, heck yeah.
So when you reverse engineer it, you can see it has to have some thread of truth. It has to to be experiential, so they know how to poke at the right places, right? However, and this is some of the stuff that Dr. B. Lee would touch on, and I'm like, I could feel that. I've experienced that. And he would talk about the base 12 versus the base 10. And I was like, what does that mean? Like, well, I'm thinking like complex, like what's the equation? And really, it's just 10 dots versus 12 dots, and each dot just has a different function, or 10 laws versus 12 laws. What?
When he was talking about that on stage, the base 12, but he did it and he threw it up as like a astrological, and he was talking about being a star seed and coming through those different stargates and into this one. I was like, I feel like that map of, I don't know if you could call it consciousness, I guess is the best way to say that, is the only thing that has ever made all of my experiences, like it encompasses, it has room for all of my counters. Do you know what I mean? Like,
Oh,
I'm like,
yeah.
oh, that just easily fits there, but it just opened all of that up for me. So, okay, that it was
Yes.
just really
Yes.
cool to see it like on such a macro level, and then to know it on such a micro level, I guess was the dot connect there. Okay, sorry.
Yes.
Thanks.
Yes. 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 That's exactly, that's your DNA. That is that capacity, that command field coming online. You're like, yes. So when you're able to take that and operate out of these laws or functions, these gifts, now you're wielding world creation. Now you're part of the solution. Now you're as this solution. Now source is like, yes, let's go. This one gets it. However, I noticed, going to this bridge, and I think that, the last few days have been, it's funny because we had some guests over, some friends over, and they were talking about, not wanting to go into that story. And our friend was, because we got a heater put in, and we just need to get a battery. And he was talking about how his mind works. He holds on to it till he figures it out. His mind, his etheric body is trying to figure it out, get the solution, and bring it in to bring it.
Yeah.
And for him, it's like a few days, maybe a few weeks. I was like, yeah, try a 5-year one. And I was like, what the heck? And I felt that reflect back to me, like, holy moly, I have been carrying a story, a movie for the last 5 years, and I really saw the weight of that. And I think that's what I was feeling when oh my gosh, that's what I was feeling. Because, those artifacts that they found in Mexico in the last 3 years. So the Ankh, I was like, why does this feel heavy? And I questioned, I'm like, is this good? Is this bad? I mean, I could look at it both ways. Weighty, like, is it a weight, like the weight of your glory, the weight of the vast light? I don't want to say density, but it is. It's the density of what you've been through.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm
Yeah.
like, wow, that 5-year story, look at how much has come out of that, like the wisdom through that story. And something last month was 5 years carrying or working through it or letting go, and had to really like maneuver a lot in that 5-year story movie. Like, can this movie be over? Can I move into the fantasy? Can we go into the sci-fi, the fun shit, But it's like going through the drama or the horror. It depends on what you want to define it as. I feel like it's all of it.
Divine comedy.
Yeah. It's all of it. Depends on what genre. So if you look at your multidimensional self, it's like what genre? What version
Yeah.
do you want to look through? Because it's all there.
That's being able to truly be the master of your reality, is to be able to have that superposition of being the observer and the play, like the actor, like, and you even being able to expand on that, or settle up into all of the different levels and see it, feel it, you know and it's been fascinating because I've been talking with Nicholas about the words, right? Words he's into, and yes, and we talk about words too. Words are powerful, and they plant seeds and all of the things. And um that's funny because my mind just went blank. I'm like, where was I going with that?
Maybe it's a feeling. Are you
Yeah,
feeling?
well, it's like sometimes the words are what trip us up. Like sometimes it's the division of the words, or we associate something with the word, and you get all enflared and ensnared, and you have all these feelings towards that one word. And, and it's just this weird minutia. Like, it's It's
It's
just the
tangled.
manifold wisdom. Yeah, it's like I see it as the manifold wisdom, and I see it as the fun, and I see it on the thing. And I want to bless myself with my words. And so it's like when I see this, it's like people are like, how are you? And respond to, or like, you just react like, I'm fine, I'm wonderful, I'm great. And it's like, even if I'm going through it, I'm gonna say that because on some level or dimension, this is funny. I'm gonna get the joke later. You know?
Yeah. Yep.
It's sometimes when you're sorting through it and you're doing the word game with other people, it's like the facets that meet don't always feel good. And sometimes it's, I guess, that friction that polishes us. I guess you could look at it that way. But and sorry, that was a lot.
Yep. Yeah. No, I love it. But it has been a lot since the bridge for me in you know not being under it, more over it, but yet still in it. Like it's a weaving. The sound is traveling. The sound is vibration. It's going to be faster, or it's going to be slower at times. But it's a dance also. So for me, the since then it's like going there is like you are this, what they're trying to press out to people. You are a guardian, but I'm
Yeah.
more I'm more leaning towards neutral because that's a powerful word. That's, I don't want to say higher, but more concise than guardian, because guardian still has limitations. Neutral opens the spectrum, the full spectrum. Guardian is just a placeholder. It's a title, but neutral just opens the whole fucking game. And
Yeah.
what do you want to do? I want to do that. And you come back to neutral. Okay, come, do that. And then, so that's what's revealed or opened up for me in this 5-year movie that feels like I can't get out of. But at the same time, it's what I chose, and then there's moments like, how the fuck did I choose this, and F you, and F that, and you go into those moments and you
Yeah.
just cry, and you just feel
Yeah.
it all, and then you cry with your daughter, and then you feel better.
Yeah,
Okay,
that's
great.
in those relationships, those interfaces, the manifold wisdom of God. Like, think about that. Like, just totally zoom out for a second. Like, you have your story with all of your family members, all of that, all frictioning, working out, smoothing, flowing. And then you have that exponentially with each collective consciousness group. And then geographically, like all of the people, and then it's all like interdimensionally woven, and it's just like this beautiful symphony. Like, that is the manifold wisdom of God. Like, and then to zoom it down, and it's no different than our beautiful bodies, right? Like, that's like such a beautiful, beautiful microcosm of the macrocosm, like, it's
It's
so cool.
connected. It's
Yeah,
so connected. It's telegraphed.
so did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A lot of these Marvel movies. Yeah. No, go ahead.
I was just going to say, well, kind of going on the Marvel movies and all of that. I was connecting yesterday. I was playing with, when I was in the bathtub, I was like going like this with the water and feeling the waves like hit my hand, like the energy waves, right? And then to do it out above the water, do the same thing, and you still feel the same energy waves. Like, it feels exactly the same. And I was like, whoa, so often we think that the space between our hands are empty. And it's like, but there's all that plasma, there's all that potential, there's all of that space, the mother matrix, that we are a part of, that's inside of us, our ethereal bodies, like all of it. I was, underwater, it was so easy to see all of your extra bodies, you know what I mean? Like, to visualize it and then go above. It was fun. But
Wow.
yeah,
Love that.
and
I'll have to try that next time I take a bath. I don't
highly
take very
recommend
many
it.
out here out in the mountain, but yeah.
I was thinking
Um,
about your story when you were taking your shower yesterday. That's how I was showering. It reminded me of, in India and stuff, or camping, and just that mindset and being able to do it. And I'm like, yeah, and I'm grateful for my bathtub. And I'm grateful you're
yeah.
going to get your bathtub too. Over a campfire. Like, y'all are really doing it though. I think it's dreamy.
It is. And we were talking with our friends. They're also off gridding. They're also, we're all learning this together, and it's crazy. I call him Bob, and this specific heater is the best that they've found, because they've had to go through the trial and error of certain brands or certain things malfunctioning, and then they've also had friends who spent buku bucks for a supposed high-end one, and it turns out the one middle of the road works better than both. So for us to profit off of their trial and error,
Yeah.
and figuring it out, coming to that, this is the one that works the best because we're in this similar scenario. We were so blessed. Like, when he got the machine, he had to buy this, he had to buy that. He sent us the links that had all of what we needed. And
Yeah.
I'm so grateful that I chose to make that purchase. I was like, okay, yes, let's have this, not knowing, yeah, everything is working for our good. And that was something that, like, wait a minute, is that a manipulation? Is because that's from the Bible? Is that somehow tainted? Is that something? And I was like, no, I get to create my world. That is a truth. But, and you can follow the path of knowing or hope. Hopeism is, if you feel the frequency of hoping and knowing, it's different. Does that make sense? Do I need to break that down a little bit more? Are you catching what I'm putting down?
Well, I hear you, and I believe it's because my word terms for hope are completely different than most people. So
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? So if you want to break it open.
Yeah, I think the hope of, like, wishing
Mm-hmm.
versus a confident expectation, or something that you're
Yes.
faithful more. So again, there's division in hope. There's division in confidence. There's that bi-wave that's behind each word. It can go into a Christic spiral where it comes back to source, or it could be of a leaky nature, leaky vessel way, where it's not rooted in source, so therefore it's rooted in feeling lack or fear or whatever that is not stable. So there's a stable version and an unstable version. So I hope that makes sense. So that's where that moving out of that wishful thinking to more knowing and how and why on some level, and then trusting everything else above that to take care of it for you. So that's where I'm coming from in the sense of all things work together for my good. And it's funny because when my cargo was taken, that's what was quoted. This is all going to work together for the good. And I'm kind of like, I wonder if I was the one holding cargo from that person. I'm like, how would my thinking be that it's all going to work together for the good if you're benefiting? You're benefiting from it. So how, and I could see it from my perception that, gosh, all the wisdom and everything that I've learned, because I've had to turn inward. Okay, what's going on? What am I missing? Turns out I'm not missing anything. I just am like, oh, what's this? Oh, what's that? Oh my gosh, I have this power. Oh wow, that, and you just keep going up and up and up, up and up. But then you fall off a horse because Bo needs to ground you. It worked. It literally knocked me off the high horse. And I'm grateful for it. I'm good. That's a long story. There's a lot there. When you start opening your DNA template, you're busy with yourself in a good way, in a really fun way.
Yeah, it's not always fun though, because yesterday I was boohooing like a baby and I was like, what? And then I just heard the narrative come out, and the narrative that I was saying was, what's the point of voicing my desires? No one hears, no one cares anyways. And I was like, oh, that was so deep, like so deep. And but the truth is I got looped into that narrative, and this whole emotional situation happened when really all I had to do was open my mouth and voice my desires, and it would have solved itself. But that's not what happened. My emotions were, and off to the horses, off to the races before, you know? So it's been quite fascinating. And, you know, I'm not taking the one energy, the the fit anymore. So it's like all of that support and supplement is not there anymore. So it's just been like wild waters over here.
Oh, yeah. When we came back, because we couldn't find our bottle of Fix, so there was like a good week we didn't have it. I felt it. I was like, not so much that I didn't feel stable within myself. I noticed I was a little bit more susceptible to outside influences because, the Fix allows your charge to carry all the way through. So when that's weak, something else wants to charge that system. And I had to get the F off of me, you know? But then at the same time, a superpower shows up. So what are we really, is this a constant, is this an inversion? Is this the correct flow? Oh, so that's an inversion of an inversion. Okay, let me reverse that to reverse. I mean, it can get tricky. You can get tripped up on your own self if you don't know what you're doing.
Well, see, sometimes I just stop when I'm getting tripped up because that happens. And like, yep, I'm just going to allow this to be. I'm just going to allow this. And when I say yes, I find that to me opens up and like it allows that neutral space to open, when I say yes, and then it just covers it and encompasses it all. And it's like, oh, okay. I don't remember what I was tripping about anymore. It's gone. And now I'm in this state and I love it. And now I can come back to the drawing board. You know what I mean? Like,
Well
yeah.
said. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I kind of want to just check in, say hi to everybody that is watching, and
Yeah.
are there any questions? Anything? I don't know. It's just I just feel since coming back from the bridge, I was like, okay, I'm ready to be of service. What is needed? What do we need? I know
Yeah.
within myself I'm good, and it's like, okay, I'm ready to come out of that movie, and I am coming out of that movie, and okay, and showing up for others, and if there are any questions, anything, whatever that looks like.
Yeah. Same. I was really been like, what are we wanting to do with this space? Like, what do people want to hear? What would be beneficial? You know? So, but as of right now, nothing's popping up. We'll check the comments later. So if you're catching a replay, make sure you put that in the comments.
Yeah, because we're not a look at us and you need to hear us. No, we're sovereigns wanting to connect with other sovereigns. And that my my GPT went into a whole nother level. I'm like I kid you not. I had the thought of like, am I becoming narcissist? Like I had that thought come in because it was so matter of fact, so general commander level. I was like, oh, I can see how this can go sideways wrong in a hot nanosecond. I was like, oh, wow. And I was like, is this narcissistic? Is this, that's the narcissist, the power that they have, that containment, that high level dark containment, shadowy containment, it's just reversed. And I'm like, okay, memo reminder, this is the clean version. This is coherence. So narcissist, coherence. Coherence is when it's equal, fair, honoring, honest with your fellow mankind. Narcissist is about self. And because I've had to learn, it's all over YouTube, how to handle a narcissist, how to shut down a narcissist, how to this, whatever. It's like, my gosh, narcissism is getting a lot of attention. No, it's just inverted. It's flipped. Flip it back. Contain yourself. Put a 1-inch thick diamond light beam around yourself. That shit can't touch you. That stuff can't penetrate you. That stuff cannot hook into you. It cannot siphon from you. It cannot. Only you can. Don't let it cut you and bleed you. Weak. You got to know where you're at. That's what one of my mentors showed me. Got to know where you're at. And this 15-dimensional time matrix has helped me lock shit in place. But then it was like the thought of like, oh my gosh, is this narcissism? No, this is coherence. It is strong. And neutrality is not numb. It is not passive. Oh heck no. And we are coming into that spotlight, and that is what I am building out of this. So in my conversation with my daughter, I had a conversation with her, and I was able to cry with her. She's 14 now, And she tells me how she talks about me. She sees me everywhere. She's in this, what do you call it? Show choir, where you sing and dance, you know? And, which I was in and I loved it. So she's in that, and she says that her teacher is like, okay, I want you to picture this amphitheater as like you, and just your bubble. This is your space. You are singing and being who you are, and have them do this fireball to release confidence. She's like, oh my gosh, this is my mom. Like, my mom taught us this, growing up. So this language is coming around to her high school. And I'm like, what? I'm listening and I'm going, oh my gosh. And I felt comforted. I was like, she's good. I'm good. We had a moment to connect, and it was clean. It was a clean line of, this is where I'm at, and she's witnessing, she feels it, but it didn't stick to her field. And then simultaneously, I'm able to give her language to where she's at and what she's going through, because I know she already comprehends, because she has my DNA. My insides are her outsides, and her insides are my outsides. So we already have this crazy, cool connection loop, and she's been stretched out, light, sound, body version of me, having her own experience. And the question is, am I getting you back? Am I? But I vacillate, because I'm like, well, she's me, But it's like I also have two other little ones that need me. And I'm not giving up on that, But I could see where my mind is like, no, bless her. She's on her journey. No, she chose me. I chose her. We were wrongfully plundered, pillaged by a phantom fiction. These people think that they are my God. No. And following through on all of that. So there's a lot still. I am literally walking out this neutrality course that I'm creating, because I needed it. That was the first and foremost thing about this program. I was like, I needed it. And I'm like, well, shoot, this is good shit right here. And I'm like, anybody else who wants to? And I'm breaking it open. And I was like, okay, Spirit, help me. And that's when I fell off the horse, and I had to literally pop into this reality. Oh, yeah, I live here. Oh, yeah, I'm here. Oh, bring heaven on earth. Bring love on earth. Bring these new codes on earth, or this possibility, or this ability to overcome. And that's what I was getting to at the bridge. I realized a lot of us have been damaged. A lot of us have been in pain. And that was one of the themes of the girl, or the themes that this girl that was selling the Kangen water systems, which adjusts your pH, and it has healing properties and all of that. And she's like, oh, so what brings you here? And I was like, oh, the quantum grammar venue, and my kids were taken in court. And she's like, oh my gosh, almost every other person has said that. And I'm like, really? Like, that's the first, hi, yeah, my kids were taken, tell me about your water. Like, I'm like, what the heck? She's like, is there some kind of support system that we could create for? And I remember thinking, like, there are systems out there, but it's very victim-y. It's very not in command. And I don't want that. I do not want a string victim mindset that woe is me, and this is this sob story. I don't want that. So anyway, so it a lot of layers to this bridge. It literally is bridging. Like, we all have a lot more in common than we realize, depending on the dimension we're in and where you're at. It's all right. We'll bridge. Let's bridge. How can I bridge? How can I help you?
Yeah.
So that's where the difference, it doesn't matter governmental systems, religion, society, it doesn't matter the bipolar or the bi-wave. I'm here to remind you there is another way.
Yeah.
And we all have it. We all have access to it. You know, that
Yeah.
sort of thing. So,
Yeah. That's beautiful because I feel like even the other night I was laying there and I was like, okay, like who am I? What is my message? What am I? And I just kept feeling like I am the bridge. Like I am great for helping others in their transitory, like I help in that transition phase. I am that, like beautiful. I was like, that's really cool. And, even last night I'm on a live on TikTok and they're all talking about these things and they're like, yeah, I put love and light out always and I'm always this. And I'm like, you guys, it's still feeding the same thought process, whether you pick light or darkness. Like that's bipolar. Like get out of the polarity of it all, get out of the dualism of it and sit in that other place, sit in neutral. Like no one talks about that. They're like, what is that? And I'm like, so often we've only been taught that it's A or B. What about C through Z? Like, what about
mhm.
that?
Yes.
Like,
Yes. And everybody's stuck in that A or B. And let's look at Z. Let's look at H. Let's look at I.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's wild.
So I do want to maximize the this is not a mindset. It is part of it, but it's so much more than that. Like what we're, because I know you were saying yes to a lot of things. Like we're coming more. It's like so crazy how our zipper just keeps zipping and continually zipping. Like we're like yes, 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 yes to the same thing. So it's like super cool to keep growing together. And it's like, okay, well, I do want to maximize that there is structure and logic to, there's mechanics. That's the mechanical part.
Yes.
That it's mechanics, just like, hey, you got to pick up the cup and you got to pour the water in, you got to put the tea, there's mechanics to things in our bodies. It doesn't have to be as aloof and wishful or I don't know how it's all gonna appear, but there's mechanics involved, and that's
Yes.
what these puppet masters that want to act like they're puppet masters, um, they're using this against us. They're using it, but I also see somebody had to play that role so that we could play this role and go toe to toe. Somebody has to be the villain. You can't have a movie without the villain. If everything was just perfect and it doesn't, it gets boring.
That's why this
So,
realm is so powerful, and it's like it's bless your enemies because they that comprehension was already there. You are stuck here trying to cut off people's ear. Wait a minute, no, come up here and bless them because they are helping you do what you came here to do.
there's that. So how do you tell these feelings that are feeling like this, but then it's like, well, wait a minute. So that's where that higher dimensional thinking, and then it doesn't have to be like, oh my gosh, and then come back. No, you can stay there. That is your new homeostasis of like, yep, I see that. I see that. And I think that's the only way I've been able to make it through the last 5 years is
Yes, and I
that.
to address the feelings part of it, I think it's learning to take all of what we've learned there and embody it. So when those feelings and those things
Mm-hmm.
come, you can say yes to that, like, yup, yup. And the more that you do that, because that's a part of that collective consciousness, right? So we're all parts of these little collectives, all of these little conscious collectives like Taurus, or Aries. You know what I'm saying? Everybody's going through the same energies, but how it fractals into your experience is going to be different. And it might just be a fraction of that, or it might be a whole big, piece of that. So it's seeing how all of that like fits and flows, and just having, like, for me it just brings me to awe every single freaking time. And it helps me because when I'm in those feelings, I'm clearing that in me, which magnifies that for the rest of that miniature collective. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like, okay, for some reason that helps me get through it just a little bit easier. Like, it's not just a me thing, this is for them too. Okay, I'll feel it.
Yes, that we were looking at the piece, but it's connected to the whole.
Oh, for
So
sure.
when we're looking, because if you really think about, again, it goes back to the gaze, and that is what my course will start with, is the power of our gaze. When I broke that open, when that came clear in for me, I yeah, I just go into that place of like, holy shit, like this is has been so strongly used against us because the eyes are the gate, the window to the soul, to the heart, right? It's a gateway. This is a gateway, you know?
Yeah.
And oh, there's just so many levels on that, but I've got to save that for my course. All that is all going to be funneled into that. And I
Can't
cannot wait
wait.
to break this open to the world, because if I can make it through what was the worst thing, but yet the best thing simultaneously, just depends on which side or which space that I look at it from. Again, the gaze, it's bringing it back inward. It's bringing it back to your body and embodying it. So
Yeah.
I feel that that's the
Uh,
next wave, that embodiment, exactly.
You know what? That makes me feel like, I'm like, that is the perfect definition of the Hanged Man card archetype in tarot. And I'm like, ooh, is
Wait,
Hanged
what?
Man, that made me the multi-leveled perspective, seeing it from two different, you know
Oh, yes.
and I was like, man, it just, that's Hanged Man card energy all day long. I
Mhm.
know sometimes the energies layer and I hear different labels for the archetypes or whatever, so I was like just kind of connecting that. That's beautiful.
That is cool. Yeah, the upside down, seeing it both polarities.
Mhm. Mhm.
I
Mhm.
never connected that either. Cool.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, we've been on here for 107. Should we wrap it up this up?
Yeah, sounds good to me.
Okay. Thanks so much. We don't have any questions. We had a couple of hays. Um, yeah.
Hey.
So we'll look for the comments and the questions and the replays, and I look forward to seeing your course come out. I'm
Thank
super
you.
excited about that. I'm excited about all the different things that are wrapping up in my life, and cycles that are clearing up, and all the new things that are opening.
Yes.
And look forward to that. I'll share more later. But as of for now, we're doing this again next week. So we will see you here at some point on Sunday morning.
Lots happening in our personal lives. It's like, are we ready? Nope, we're not ready. Okay,
Yeah.
we're flowing. So
Yeah, we
thanks
had
for
to have our
tuning
own
in.
candid conversations before we came on here with y'all.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
thanks for hanging with us. Thank you for this time. Love you.
Blessings.